Sarah Hammerker, Crosswalk contributor, and today I'm going to walk you through my article, 11 Tips for Parenting a Rebellious Teen. As a mom of teenagers myself, I know nothing really breaks our heart when our kid is not doing the right thing or not following God. But there are things that we can do as parents to help ease their return home and to also open up the lines of communication with them. The first one is pray. I know this sounds simple, but all too often we forget that we need to pray for our teens, that we need to pray for our own hearts, that we would be able to pray effectively for them, with them, and just be that a trusted adult in their life. So pray for them. There's nothing harder, I think, especially as a Christian parent, than to keep doing the right thing, which is tip number two, when our kids are not reacting in the way we want to. But it's our job to keep putting those boundaries in place, to keep gently correcting, to keep pointing out the sin in our children's lives, even when it is not well received, even when they're rebellion. So keep doing the right thing. Number three, we need to cling to God's promises. He tells us that when we train up a child in the way he should go, when he's old, he won't depart from it. Sometimes our teens take a detour. Sometimes our adult children and our young children take a detour off the path God has called them to. This is especially the time we need to cling to the promises of God. Point number four, this may seem simple as well, but love your child. Even when they're rebelling, continue to show them love in the love language that they have, whether it's time spent with them, baking their favorite meals, still communicating with them on things that they enjoy talking about. Even if they're not as receptive, we need to still show them in many ways how much we love them. Number five, have an open door policy. If your teen hangs out with a crowd or a person that you're not that thrilled about, throw open your doors and say, hey, you know what? Bring so-and-so over. Let's have them for dinner. You can play in our basement, your video games, or you can have your kids hang out at our house. I'll provide the snacks. And then you don't really hang out with them, but you're around them. You see them. You let them know that you care enough to have them in your house. Number six, stop lecturing. Teenage years are the years when we need to move out of the lecture mode and move into the mentor mode. Our kids are not going to make 100% the decisions that we want them to make. They're just not, whether it's what classes they take, how they choose to spend their free time, whether they get a job or they continue playing a sport or an instrument. We have to remember that teens are moving into, they're starting to bridge that gap between being a teenager and a child and being an adult. We need to let them make those mistakes, so we don't need to lecture them and tell them how hard it is. We need to ask more questions than we give them advice. Number seven, evaluate our stance. Is this rebellion truly rebellious? Is it something that you just don't like, but still adheres to God's calling on their life and the gospel? Shine that light. See if what you are thinking they're rebellion against maybe is not a rebellion in the sense that you think it is. Let go of the small stuff. This goes with number seven. If your teen gets a tattoo or an extra piercing or wants to wear certain clothing that you think is not as appropriate, or listen to a different style of music, or take different classes even than you think they should. This is how they're kind of coming into their own. So we really need to let go of the stuff that truly doesn't matter. We don't want to create a mountain out of a molehill with them. Number nine, stay calm. And this can be hard, and I can get kind of, excited or upset about certain things my kids decide to do or not to do. But the calmer we can stay, the more we can lower the energy in our house, the better for our teen. If our teen responds to us with a lot of high energy of they're angry or they're upset or they're thinking about a lot of things, and we just happen to get in their way and they snap at us, the more that we can respond calmly, the more that they're going to calm down too. Learn your own anger cues and keep an eye out for them. Watch your words. We need to speak the love and truth, but we also need to respect our teens. We don't need to harangue them. We don't need to belittle them. We don't need to shame them. We need to make sure that our words are edifying, educating, and also showing them the gospel of Christ. And number 11, I think this is the hardest one sometimes for us as adults, to apologize or to say we were wrong to our teen. And we need to do this. We need to be willing to admit when we have made a mistake. Maybe we shouldn't have forbidden them from doing X. Maybe we shouldn't have jumped down their throat because of Y. We need to be willing to say, you know, I was wrong. Can you forgive me? And be truly repentant about that. The more we can show them how to recover from doing something that wasn't right, the better they will be able to emulate that. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the future. Above all, remember that our goal as parents isn't to save our teenagers. That's for God to do, but it is to stay true to the gospel and to love these kids God has given us.